Yo guys, what's going on? I'm Tim Kelly. This is the Real Sports Talk. Thank you for tuning in. LeBron James has just won his 4th career MVP, not really to the surprise of anyone. There were a few votes that went to Chris Paul, a few votes that went to Kevin Durant, James Harden, Carmelo Anthony, but for the most part, LeBron James ran away with this MVP race, and it doesn't come to the surprise of really anyone, because there really was not another candidate that you could make the case that had a better season than LeBron James this year, averaging the numbers of 26.8 points per game this year. That's 8 rebounds, 7.3 assists, almost a block per game, 1.7 steals per game, and he shot, this is the number that really gets me, 56.5% from the field. From downtown, he shot over 40%, almost at 41%, and that was a 4% jump from last year. And I know people don't like to go into the stats too much. I know that a lot of people think that's for nerds or whatever, but the bottom line is that stats are facts, and they prove what happened. And LeBron James shooting 56.5% is incredible, considering he came into the NBA in 03-04 and was shooting around 42%. And when he got to 53% last year, it was kind of the point where I said, alright, LeBron might not be the best overall shooter, but we can't say that LeBron's a bad shooter anymore. He's not at the level of Kevin Durant or Kobe Bryant when he goes off, but he's certainly more efficient than Kobe Bryant has ever been. And I really felt like LeBron peaked out at 53% last year, and the fact that he jumped up almost 4 percentage points from the field really gets me. You got to take into account the defense he played this year, finishing 2nd in Defensive Player of the Year award, which he still has not won in his career, and he was not happy about not winning that award. But the bottom line is that with this MVP, LeBron James is in an elite class. He joins, and listen to these names, the only other 4-time MVP winners are Bill Russell, who's a top 10 player of all time, 11-time world champion. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is probably a top 5 player of all time. Won a few championships with the Lakers and won one with the Bucks. Wilt Chamberlain, who's 5, 6, somewhere right in that area with the Lakers, the Sixers, the Philadelphia Warriors. Tremendous overall career. He's the top 10 player. And then Michael Jordan is the consensus top player in the history of the NBA. He also had won 4+ MVPs. So LeBron James still has a little bit more work to be the guy that has won the most MVPs. Although, I mean, at the pace he's going, I don't think that's something that is out of reach in his career. And I think when you listen to those names, I remember making a statement a few years ago that, and I think that LeBron's even exceeded my expectations over the last couple seasons with his overall play, with the exception of the NBA Finals a few years ago, which is something he will never live down. But the bottom line is that since LeBron James did the decision, I was kind of one of the people that came out and said it was a stupid show. I didn't like how it was done. I understand why people are pissed off or maybe even don't like LeBron James, but I do not understand how you cannot see how good of a player LeBron James was. He was a 2-time MVP in Cleveland, and since then, he has taken on a whole nother level because he's become a better shooter, both twos and from downtown. He's become an even better defender. He's really just become a complete player offensively, adding in that post game. Assist-wise, it's been scary to watch what he's been able to do with that Miami Heat team. And I think that you can say to yourself that you don't like LeBron James, although to me he's one of those guys that I don't understand how watching how good he is, unless you're an Oklahoma City Thunder fan or a team that's a rival, the Miami Heat, or a Cleveland Cavaliers fan. I don't understand how you cannot enjoy watching LeBron James playing, because he's just one of those people that is so good that you have to sit back. It's like Peyton Manning. It's like Tom Brady. But it's on probably even another level at this point, because I think that LeBron James is the most dominant player we've seen in the NBA, at the very least since Shaquille O'Neal, and you can maybe even say that he's been a little bit more dominant than Shaq was in his late days with the Magic and early ones with the Lakers at this point. So to me, I don't see how you cannot, at the very least, enjoy watching LeBron James playing. I understand that there's flaws. He's still not a great shooter. He's still someone that settles in the clutch too much, in my mind, for jump shots rather than driving to the hoop. But the greatness that is LeBron James wins his 4th MVP today. And I think legacy-wise, this kind of cements him in my mind as a top 10 player. I think that there's still work to do, obviously, but it's laid the framework. LeBron James needs to continue to play at this type of level. He needs to win a couple more championships and be an integral part of it, which for the Heat to do that, he would have to be. And as long as he does not... I'm not someone that evaluates an overall player in terms of championships, but the one thing that is a negative on LeBron James' career, in my mind, the biggest negative on his career, is the fact that he disappeared in the 2010 NBA Finals. He needs to make up for that by having individually great Finals performances. Even if the Heat don't win, he needs to have those performances to me to make up for that. And the bottom line is that if LeBron James has the type of performances that he did in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals, in the NBA Finals like he did last year, then there's very little chance that the other team's going to win, because he has become the type of player that you can do everything. But if LeBron James is on that night, you can't stop the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat are going to win the game. There really is not a ton you can do. There's great players in the game right now like Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant even is on another level from even the guys like Chris Paul or some of the other great players that we have in the NBA right now. Kevin Durant is a stud. There's no doubt about it. But to me, LeBron James is on an even different level than what Kevin Durant is for what he did this season. The efficiency that he has achieved, to me, is so impressive. Defensively, he's still way ahead of Kevin Durant in my mind. And adding in that post game is scary. And the fact that, in my mind, that he can play every single different position defensively, people that haven't played basketball just don't understand how valuable of a skill and a trait that is, that you can put LeBron James on the other team's point guard, or you can put LeBron James in the post at the 4 or 5 position. And yeah, he might not be as strong, but I've heard rival coaches say that if he played power forward, he'd probably be the 3rd or 4th best power forward in the league, and that's without him having played it for a long time. I think once he had played it for a long time, he'd probably even move up that list. So I remember doing this show in 2010 and kind of standing on LeBron's side, and people calling me a LeBron you-know-what rider and an ass kisser. And the bottom line is that it was never about that. It was about, I understand how good of a player this guy is, and the fact that I think we saw the best this year. I truly do believe that this is probably the best season, at least efficiency-wise, that we're going to see out of LeBron James. Can he get the points back up? Certainly he can do that at some point in his career, because it's taken a hit since he's gone to Miami. As Dwayne Wade continues to get older, although he had a very good year this year, as Chris Bosh gets older, and whatever happens after next year when all 3 of them can opt out of their deals, LeBron James may be in a position to become more of a scorer again. But efficiency-wise, he has been absolutely scary since really the last 2 seasons in Cleveland, where it was when he really began to get extremely efficient. LeBron James wins his 4th MVP. What do you guys think? Leave me your thoughts in the comments. And does it matter if the Heat don't end up winning another NBA championship this year?